What's going on, everyone? So, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to share my screen. Let's get kick started. Let's see, which screen is it? This right here. All right. So, we do have our forex factory that I have open right here. We're also, of course, going to be doing our trade analysis as well. Gold is starting to show some great opportunities, but we will not be starting with gold. We will be starting with GU. And then one thing to also just kind of keep in mind, of course, if you are interested, come over to the Dragon's Nest Trade. This one right here is a website that I personally built with 91% off. You can go ahead and create a trading plan. Feel free to check it out if you like. And if you have any questions, reach out to me directly. My email address is here at the bottom, noah@thedragonsnesttrades.com. All right, guys. So just want to let y'all know it's there. Let's see what we got. So let's go ahead and just do a quick review of yesterday's trade. So here are some trades that I took on this specific account over the last couple of weeks. This account right here, this is kind of just showing the most recent 365 days. I haven't had this account for over a year either. This account, the most recent information is January 20th of my most recent trade. We had 3 losses in a row and then one nice winner. So this is where risk to reward comes in. So I risked $200 and my bare minimum is a 1 to 3, and I have a take profit zone. This one specifically gave me a take profit zone near these lows. So you had 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap, 4, and then I was aiming for right below that zone. And you can see how price just moved really nicely in our direction and went straight to take profit, which is really amazing to see. So yeah, this one was a nice trade. This specific account, I only have access to on this specific computer. I leave this computer at home while I am currently out and about. And so therefore I have no access to this account. So it's literally all or nothing, right? So I place a trade, walk away, shut it down, come back to see if it's a winner or a loser. That's it. So I have a different account on my phone that I can actively trade, and I can get entries at any given point in time. This one specifically for rule-based systems, I can only interface with this one during the time frame that I'm actually here at the market. So that's it. I just wanted to pinpoint a little bit of a trade, kind of like why I got in was back over in our pre-market analysis itself. We were looking at NQ. NQ gave this nice move over here, and this is the reasoning why I decided to get in. Was it created this double top in this consolidation box. We were looking at a 4-hour, had a nice 4-hour Fibonacci zone where it was slowing down between the 61 and 78 right here at previous resistance. So I was anticipating that we were going to continue to drop, and we did continue to drop right here. And then I was expecting a farther move to the Fibonacci, but considering that we were in this giant consolidation box on this specific account, I mainly focus on like short-term swing trades, so lasting less than 24 hours. On here, the aim of the game is to get a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. So however long that takes, it takes. If it's within the day, cool. Majority of the time, it's a swing trade, takes about 2 to 3 days. Now I am, still a little new to NQ. So therefore, should I say I'm not new to NQ? I've used to trade it NQ, but I only scalped NQ before, as well as what's the other one called? What, S&P 500? Yeah. So I used to scalp those about whenever I first got started, about 5 years ago now. Yeah. So with that said, I'm pretty much focused on trading long-term wise. So this was a nice move that I got in. So just wanted to recap a little bit about this specific trade, as well as how risk to reward really makes it worth it all in the end. 3 losses, one winner. This one winner was a 5-1. So I took back all of my 3 losses, and then I also gained 2R on top. So I'm sitting at 20. This is a $25,000 account, and we're sitting $5,31 in profit currently. In order to pass this account, I need to make another total of $1,000. So with this said, we are looking for another trade opportunity to see if one pops up today. All right, guys, let's jump right into Forex Factory. So right into Forex Factory, we want to look at the news events that are occurring throughout the day. So therefore, we can go ahead and make sure that we're ready to rock and roll just in case we need to stay out or if we're aiming to get in. I don't know if there was an update regarding the government shutdown, but I don't see the information here regarding the government shutdown. So I'm assuming that we are back up and operational with no issues there. So going into today, February 4th, today is my off day, so that's a benefit as well. So I'm not having to focus on going into work today. So I might be able to trade a little bit later off of this account. If there is a opportunity that presents itself before 10 a.m., outside of 10 a.m., I am not looking for a trade on this account. So right here, sorry, kind of got distracted. USD, we have non-farm roll employment changes. So this one could play a factor in the market depending on the actual information that populates. So we can see right here some previous information that we received. So we're in February 4th. The last one was January 7th, and the one prior was December 3rd. We were sitting at a negative and then a positive, but still below the threshold. So this part right here is just one thing to recap is, if I'm not mistaken, red, right? Okay, actual greater than forecast. So actual needs to be greater than forecast. That is good for the currency. So this has been negative or red, red, one of them green, red, red. So we have a trend of a lot of them being red. So specifically going into this, if we have another red, we could see some markets go down potentially, right? That if the market goes down based upon non-farm roll employment change, those markets would be more like the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and like some other bigger pairs like that. Those could continue to push down. Now, if the currency is bad, right? Gold likes to go against what is actually good. So if this is going bad for the US, then that means gold could continue to rise. So that is just something to think about when you're looking at an entry point. Be mindful of some volatility during 7:30 or 7:15 a.m. As well as PMI. Watch out for some additional volatility around 9 a.m. This is shortly after the market opens. If we're looking at PMI specifically, we're looking at green, 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 green. So a lot of positivity. So actual greater than forecast, right? Actual greater than forecast right here, which is good for the currency. So this is showing that we have had a lot of PMI, some good in the with PMI. So this could be a counterintuitive where this makes the market dip and then this makes it rise again. So again, volatility, just be mindful that this could be a wicky day where people are trying to take the lows because of this, and then people are trying to take the highs because of this, depending on what actually comes out with the news events. And then outside of that, coming in here for Thursday, just to kind of look at the overview before 5 o'clock in the morning. So right here, there's nothing between really open to 5 or open the morning till 5 a.m. Now, just looking at it, since we're already here, we do have a lot of 6 a.m. news for GBP. So this specifically, just be mindful of monetary policy is coming out tomorrow, which is a big news event. So if you are trading GBP, EU, right, be mindful that this could cause a giant wick in a sense. So whether it's positive, whether it's negative, go ahead and check it out and see how it's going. But Thursday, we might not trade. If we're in a trade today, cool. I'll hold. That is what it is. Um, but I'm not looking for a trade tomorrow during this duration, just because there's too much noise that's going to be happening from 6 to 8. Now, after 8 a.m., then it's fair game, right? Because the only other pair that I trade is CAD, and this could move the market a little bit. I'm not sure how much it would, but beyond that, this is someone speaking, which is a little bit different than a direct number. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think about for Forex Factory as of right now. Let's go ahead and get kick-started with our analysis for today. The most important reason why we came in to discuss. So let's see. We're going to start with the daily, right? Daily is important. Every single time I come to the market, I look at daily, 4 hour, and 2 hour, and 1 hour. The 2 and 1, I kind of bounce around with those depending on what I see in the market. A non-negotiable is daily and 4 hour. Those are non-negotiable. Weekly is, I view that one mainly during my Sunday pre-market for the week. Now you can check it out as well at any given point in time. And the best way that I kind of describe this is if you check out the weekly, just turn everything off and you can just look at one giant bullish bar, right, for this week, and then a wick to the top, and then a major correction all the way back down. And now we took the low of the week and we're currently pressing up. So this is looking like it has a high probability of wanting to continue. Now, what did we just mention regarding GU? GU on Forex Factory, tomorrow there's some major events. So keep in mind this. And this is what I see. Doesn't mean it's the same thing that y'all see, right? This is how I see the Fibonacci. So I see the Fibonacci coming from past information where price came up. It kind of plateaued a little bit over. It continued to push up, push up, push up, push up. And then it finally decided to make a correction. And now we're starting to push up. So what this is showing me is this is the Fibonacci from A, right? So A right here to B up here, and we're pulling back to the 50%, potential 60%, 61% zone. So I'm anticipating this move that I drawn out here where we came down, right? We might have a little bit more of a flush down or even a little bit more with at some point, and then we'll kind of make some sideways action and then head up. That's my expectation. This right here is just showing me I personally like it when the Fibonacci comes all the way down to the 50%. Now, just to keep in mind too, there was a gap right here. The gap has been filled. So therefore, the price has retraced, filled the gap on the daily, and now it's starting to push up. Depending on the strength of this bar right here off of this current day, like today, this is going to tell us everything that we need to know if we're going to be looking for buys or if we're going to continue to sell off. If, right, we took the most recent daily highs, but now the question is we're coming into the open very soon. So the question is, will it pull down and give a final correction down to the 50% or 61%? And then tomorrow with the news event, it then creates this giant bullish engulfing bar that then takes us, all the way to where we need to go. We don't know, and we will find out. But going into the 4 hour, this is my expectation. We have made this move down right here. So we had a higher low, lower high. We had this kind of wick down, but you can kind of see it kind of went sideways still right here. So I wouldn't really count this as a low because it didn't close below. And we just kind of continued down until we got to this low. And we're currently pulling back right now. So the way that I kind of see this is a short-term Fibonacci off of the 4 hour. We have kind of this zone right here. And look at this. Like just about to the T almost. Price came down, came all the way up, tapping that 50% right above that consolidation zone, closing below the consolidation, and now we're trying to push back down again. So I'm thinking that we are going to continue to move down. We can kind of see if there might be a Fibonacci on a lower time frame. But right now, this looks to me as if we're going to have this exact correction that I labeled here from this, price is going to break down, come up, give us a lower high, and then continue to make a new low. That's what I'm anticipating currently. So that's what I will be planning for today. So let's look at the 2 hour time frame. We can see that we are still pressing up right now. We have this little bit of a trend line kind of forming here, a little bit, not exactly perfect. We can see that we're still above the EMA, so there's no trades to be taking place at this very moment based upon the 2 hour. We're also wicking below and holding above the EMA, right? Dropping down to a 1 hour. Let's check this out. We have this nice bearish engulfing bar right here that closed below the EMA, but immediately right now, as we're looking at the chart information, we are currently giving some rejections right here off of the 1 hour bar. Personally, if I was looking for a trade right now, this actually looks like a nice trade opportunity where price comes up, right? It's coming up. We saw that 50% retracement that I already mentioned, and therefore we're now potentially breaking back down. If we're looking at this 2 hour or 1 hour candle bar, we can see that we have this high here all the way down to this most relative low. And this is a 2 hour, not a perfect Fibonacci. I usually don't draw Fibonacci's lower than a 4 hour. But for this instance, I'm just showing you. So if we close, we close in 14 minutes. If we close our body of this candle below this EMA, I'm entering this position without any issues, okay? So I'm going to get this ready just in case. So I have it. Cool. So I'm definitely thinking GU as of right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of notate on my whiteboard. GU sells. Right? Cool. So let's see how this reacts. But we have fulfilled a 61% rejection bar. This one did not close below. 1 hour did close below. This is giving us a nice bearish signal currently on that 1 hour. We just need that closure in the next 13 minutes because the issue is this. If the candlestick comes in and we're currently pushing down like this, and then we decide to wick back up and close like this, then unfortunately, we got wicked out. And I don't want that. If we close below, then at that point, I believe that it will continue to flush lower. And with that, we could get a nice, let's see what the risk to reward would be. So if we're shorting a position and we close near the below, I'm assuming that we're going to close near here. And then we're going to aim for the negative 27. That is a perfect 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. If we have the opportunity where we can get in closer to where it's currently at, that would be more of a 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio. I'm not anticipating that we're actually going to be able to get in at this exact area. Now, you could say, why don't you get in now? Because you can get into that 1 to 4. I could, but I have no confirmation. If I don't have a confirmation, I don't get in. Simple. Follow the rules, right? Because I just mentioned as well about the whole it could push down. And then in the last 10 minutes, it can come all the way back up here. And then it pushes back up here in the last 5 minutes. And then it closes right here. And then at that point, I would be looking at closing a trade. And then that's a not unnecessary loss, right? Because it didn't give that signal bar closure, right? All right, cool. So we are good with GU. So we're going to come back to that in the next couple of minutes. Let's go take a look at gold. All right, guys. So I was in a trade on gold the other day, right here, writing this up. I decided to take my profits out as I was focused on trying to take some profits out of my trading account. But then I found out a rule that I didn't know. So therefore, for that reason, I am looking for a new trade, which is perfectly fine because I am going to be continuing to rack up on my trades. So therefore, I can take a better withdrawal in the future. So we're going to go ahead and continue on this. So let's check out the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame right here, we have made these higher high, higher low, higher high, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So now we made this official higher low, right? People say 2 candles to the left and 2 candles to the right. So technically this one after today, this would be the official higher low that has been formed. Going over to the 4-hour, Fibonacci wise, if there was one to be placed, I would place it. As of right now, there is not. Based upon my rules of the 4-hour Fibonacci, pretty much price came up here. It kind of went a little bit sideways here. It kind of gave a minor pullback, but it wasn't like that much of a pullback itself. And then it started just shooting off from here. So you can see price headed up, went sideways, headed up, went sideways, headed up, and it's currently going sideways. Now it's starting to potentially give us that pullback style. So like right here, it started giving that pullback style with these 2 candles, but then it never actually pulled back. This one is starting to, but only if it drops and closes below this EMA and then it heads up. That is what I'm personally anticipating for a pullback. It crosses my EMA and then it crosses back above for that pullback. So once this one crosses that EMA, that also gives me that extra signal where I have a nice 4-hour Fibonacci that I can draw on. For example, here, this is what I have at the moment that I'm thinking of, but only if I get confirmation of it pulling back lower. If this does pull back and I do get a nice entry, I would love to get an entry point somewhere around this 50% zone, which will also match up with my previous resistance here. So with that, let me draw my resistance right here. Boom. So this would also match up with my previous 61% of my larger Fibonacci. This would also match up with my resistance zone. Then coming support. This will also match up with my key level. And it would also match with approximately my 50% move that I like to get on gold. Now, I know that whenever gold comes down, it loves to either tap the 50 or come right before the 50, and then it loves to like shoot right up. Now, one keynote, it can surpass that 50, right? It can come all the way down to that 61 and then continue. It's definitely possible. I just know gold specifically over the last couple of months, it's been loving that 50% zone. It's like a key area that if it pulls back to like 45%, everybody wants to buy because they're all wanting to try to get in early. So that's kind of like the mentality there. So gold right now, I'm waiting for that 4-hour pullback before I do anything else. I'm not really looking at any entries right now. You can drop down to a 1-hour if you're looking for a day trade. I personally am not, but on the 1-hour, you do have a nice 1-hour Fibonacci right here from A to B. We're right before that 50%, giving that rejection candle. We officially closed below that EMA that I was referring to, and we're making this new candle up in order to potentially push up. Again, for gold, I would prefer a 4-hour Fibonacci. Now, 1-hour Fibonacci's do work on gold, but they don't work all the time. This one also on a 1-hour, I love whenever the 1-hour pulls back and taps the 50 or taps the 61. If it doesn't tap the 50 or 61, I usually don't even try to enter because most likely this is going to give a false signal and then continue lower to tap this area and then continue higher. So be mindful if you are looking at a 1-hour Fibonacci zone that it can have a fake out candle before the actual continuation candle. So that's pretty much what I have on gold right now. So we're going to keep on looking at the 4 hour to see if the opportunity presents itself on there. Let's see. We are about 8 minutes away or 7 minutes away. Oh, not that button. Let's just take a gander right here. So we are still looking good. So in about another 3 minutes, when we have 3 minutes left on the bar, if we're still in this area, I'm gonna go ahead and place that trade on both of my accounts. Let's see. So let's go ahead and take a look on NQ for now. So that was everything on gold as of this moment. All right, so NQ. Let's go ahead and take everything off so we can just kind of look at NQ right now. We had this overall move that price was pushing up, and like it came from pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. And now it's kind of in this plateau, right? We're consolidating, right? We have this double bottom here, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, break of a new high from this high. So higher high, lower low, right? Higher high, higher low currently. So therefore, this is just a nasty consolidation zone. Within the consolidation zone, we had this this kind of area that was then broken. I mean, we can technically leave that where it was. There it goes. So we had this area that was broken, right? This area that was broken. So we broke this uptrend, came back, kind of retested this uptrend a little bit, and now we're continuing down. That's where I got the overall move that we recently did. I'm going to go ahead and delete some of these. I'm going to delete this. Not yet. So I'll delete it in a minute. So we pushed down very nicely as of right now. And then let's check out the 4 hour. 4 hour is where I got the Fibonacci zone. So the Fibonacci zone, I had A, B, right? We had a nice pullback to the 78 and then a nice drop. Now, the only downfall for this is we are respecting this uptrend now. So I'm not looking to enter at this very moment, not unless we actually get another signal to become bearish. Ideally, I would love for it to pull back 50% of this bit of a move right here. So I would love it to kind of pull up a little bit more. But since we are still in this overall Fibonacci, I'm expecting us to at least get to this, what is it called? EMA. Once we get to this EMA, if I get a nice 1 hour, 2 hour signal bar, then at that point, I would be interested in a sell. Let me go ahead and delete this. So we are currently at this EMA right now on a 2 hour. On the 4 hour, we have not reached the EMA. So I'm expecting us to reach the 4 hour EMA at least before we headed back down. So this one would be that false signal that I was referring to earlier, right? Price comes up, 2 hour taps the EMA, gives a bearish engulfing bar, and then it's currently being eaten up completely right here. So for all of these reasons, this is that false signal where price could break above the EMA on the 2 hour and then continue heading lower. So for example, on this 1 hour, oh, well, that was the 2 hour, my bad. So on this 1 hour, we currently broke, gave that bearish engulfing bar back below, and now we're pulling back up right now. So once we get a secondary signal bar heading back down after the 4 hour has been tapped, then I'm looking to sell off of this EMA right here to continue to that negative 27 or potentially lower depending on, what I see in the market. Overall, for the NQ, I'm expecting this to like break. If we break this major area here, I'm expecting to get to at least the low of the box. And if we get to the low of the box and have a breakthrough, I'm expecting us to pull all the way back to this major weekly Fibonacci zone here. So that's my overall direction right now is bearish, but only time will tell to see if we get that opportunity. All right, guys, so we are about 3 minutes away from the bar closing. Let's go ahead and check out the 1 hour candlestick closure. So look at this. So you can see that we did close below, and then we got wick. So these wicks are showing us some supports that's right here. And you can see if I draw a line right here or a support zone here, you can see that previous resistance is holding this support at the moment. So let's see how we close. But as of right now, I'm not super interested. I'm still interested. It's not a great signal bar though. Let's just see. We got a doji on a 2 hour. 4 hours still has 2 hours left. Yeah, this one's really giving indecisiveness. This candle was decent, but this candle is like not sure where it wants to go. And this was my main issue is like I don't want to get into a signal that's very weak. Now this is now pushing back down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do half risk because this is not a great signal bar. So I'm going to go ahead, for example, I'm going to go straight over to my Google Trades. We're going to go over to GU and we are going to, why is that looking weird? Refresh the page. All right, perfect. So GU, we're going to come over here and we're going to put an advanced order. We're going to do a stop loss. And then we're going to drag the stop loss right above here. And then we're going to add up until we get to $100, keeping risk at half the right amount. So $100 here, we're looking for a sell, confirm. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and jump on my other trade. We're going to go ahead and jump on GU. We are going to stop loss. We're going to plop it right here. And we're going to open up a half position. And this one is a total of 500. Perfect. Boom. All right. So just to show you as well, we have this position now on right there. And then I'm going to show y'all something in a moment too, because I actually closed out of a position or multiple positions on this account. So at the end, I'll go ahead and show a recap on that. So we entered half a position. Reason why we did half a position versus the full position is because our signal bar was not a strong signal bar. We have, just like I showed you, that support and resistance zone, right? This resistance zone is showing relative strength on support. If this candle closure is better than this signal bar, then I would add in to the remaining position that I do have of the other 50%. As of right now, this is just not strong enough for me because we have tried to break the low, wicked, broke the previous low here on the 1 hour and closed all the way up here. And then we tried to break the low, didn't even get to the low, and then came back about 50%. So we are closing below this EMA, which is why I got in, but we are not closing below the previous candle bars, showing confirmation of bearish signals. So right now, this is where the bear signal came in, but we're not getting the context at the very moment. And we can see, we can kind of get this little bit of a wick up at the moment. All right. So we're going to go ahead and continue our pre-market analysis while this trade is running. And then we're going to go from there. So I already finished up with NQ to my understanding. We're looking for a sell, but at the moment we could get a little bit more of a pullback. Let's see here. So S&P 500 is very similar to NASDAQ. I always mention that. So looking at the daily time frame, turning off everything just real quick, we have a overall uptrend that has been forming over here, and we are slowly grinding a new uptrend still. So we have a higher low, higher high, double bottom, right? Double top, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, double top, a minor higher high, like very minor, but I would consider that as a double top. And now we're just kind of stuck in this consolidation zone. So that's currently where I'm at with the S&P 500. Adding this right here, we got a support resistance zone. We are currently in this total consolidation. You can even add it in right here versus there. excuse me, let's see, this one, switch it over to consolidation. So right here is technically consolidation. The reason why I listed this area as consolidation, not the previous, is we actually broke these highs, right? So we got higher low, higher high, or double top, higher low, break of high. So technically this zone, we have a higher low and then a double top. So for this most recent information, this is my most relative consolidation. You could add in as well that this is a total consolidation zone. But the way that I look at it is if we break these lows right here off of the daily, I'm expecting us to drop significantly. So this would be my consolidation zone right here. As of right now, on the 4 hour is very similar to NASDAQ. I am thinking that we are going to be looking at this kind of Fibonacci zone. We are already tapping the 50%, which is also at this EMA. So we could still get a little bit of a pullback and then a continuation. But at any given point now, if we get a bearish signal bar, I am looking at a sell. 2 hour. This is a little bit of a consolidation right here because we broke the lows and then broke to a new high. So that would be considered consolidation at the moment. If we get a nice 1 hour closure bar, breaking below this EMA once again, I will be looking for a sell. And then I will be putting my stop loss right above wherever the high is. So that's pretty much what I have right now, based upon S&P 500. Pretty much the exact same style I have for NASDAQ. Two things to also mention is NASDAQ can be a little bit sporadic sometimes, and then the S&P 500 is usually a little bit more calm. So this is just kind of something to keep in mind. If you are wanting to trade one of the two, NASDAQ loves to wick through highs more frequently than the S&P 500. So for example, the NQ will say, let's look at this one real quick. I'm just adding this, so therefore you have it. So whenever you're coming over here, right, price action is continuing to go down. A lot of times you'll get this like massive, like you'll get this wick up before the continuation. And on the NQ, you might just get this plateau and then the continuation itself. You might not get this little extra wick that came with this overall move. Let's see, S&P 500. And then sometimes you do get the wick, but I'm just pinpointing like there's times where, especially with news events, where price will literally come up, come down, wick on NQ, come down, and then just kind of go straight down from there. So yeah, just kind of try to figure out reading the market, seeing how everything goes, and then we'll continue from there. And then let's see on silver. Is that silver? Yeah, that's silver. All right, cool. So on silver, we're going to go ahead and jump over to a daily time frame. Silver, we can see that we had this crazy drop here. We started getting a little bit of support upon this doji, and now we're currently pushing back up. I have a overall Fibonacci zone, which is an insane Fibonacci zone. From this major low to this major high here, we had tapped the 61 and 50% zone. We found some support at this previous heavy support zone here. Typically, I love to use resistance as support, but this zone right here came in handy with previous support becoming support. So this zone is the most important right now. We do have this previous resistance that is currently having some reaction off of it as well. So as we break down, we'll kind of see that. So coming down to the 4 hour right here, we can see this played a nice role in this Fibonacci. So this is where I ended up getting in. I believe I got in on silver down here as well. But this is a nice Fibonacci, like almost to the T. My trading plan, it missed it by a hair, but I would have been looking for an entry if I don't know if I was in this move or the previous move. Which one? This one happened on the 3rd. So this happened yesterday. I did not get in this move, but this is a nice move based upon my trading plan. So this is a 4 hour. 4 hour, we came down And again, this is the overall Fibonacci of the 61%. And then I have this smaller Fibonacci based upon my 4 hour. So we came down, we made this little bit of a 4 hour lower high, higher low, higher high. And then we made this pullback right here. And this pullback came to the 50%. And now we're continuing this move. So you can see how this move came right above the EMA, pulled back below the EMA, and then gave a signal bar breaking above the EMA back to a buy position. And if we're breaking this down on a lower time frame, let's see where we could have entered. Yesterday, I wasn't unfortunately able to enter this position, which is perfectly fine because I was in a different position. So we came all the way up, made a nice pullback. We kind of started plateauing on the 2 hour, and then let's check out the 1 hour. On the 1 hour here, came down. We had a lot of these wicks. So once price was done wicking right here, so wick, giving bullish signals, gave a final wick down, came up, and then gave this bit of a bullish engulfing bar breaking this EMA. This specific candle would be my entry point. And then if we're looking at stop loss and take profit zone, this would have been where I entered and got out. So long position. So I would have entered right here, put my stop loss right here. And then my technical overall bullish move would be all the way near these highs or even the Fibonacci zone. So even going for the highs, that's almost 11 to 1 right here. And this could potentially go all the way up. Right, my first take profit would have been the Fibonacci, which I think is a 2.3 or something. Yeah, let's see. Yep, pretty much a 2.3. It's like a 2.2. So therefore, this would have been my first take profit, and then I would have held it to my second take profit, which would have been the previous highs, and then third take profit would have been the Fibonacci signal itself of the negative 27 for the overall uptrend. So that would have been silver right there. So yeah, that was breaking down all of silver. So simple and fast. As of right now, we are waiting to see if we get another 4 hour confirmation in order to get another entry point on silver. If we do get a pullback zone off of here, we could get a nice retracement coming back down to this support level here, and then a continuation up. And if that's the case, I'm perfectly fine with that. Most likely, and this is just my hypothetical, most likely we're going to continue further up and then make that major correction before heading in the overall direction. So that's my silver analysis. Let's go ahead and jump over to UJ. Oh man, why did I get out of UJ? All right, so that's crazy. All right. UJ gave me like that perfect signal. Now I got out because I was aiming to get a withdrawal, made some modifications to the withdrawal, unfortunately. But we are aiming to get those trades. So on here specifically, let's go ahead and check out the weekly. Looking at it from a standpoint, we were overall in this uptrend, made this major correction, and then now we're currently crazily pushing back up. So this is where I saw UJ. I had a Fibonacci from A to B. We made a pullback to the 50%, which was my original green light. We did not get to the 61, which I would have loved to get to, but I was perfectly fine getting the 50%, which is my trading plan, 50% minimum. So upon this, we looked at the daily time frame, started giving some rejection here, and I was just waiting for a bullish signal. So dropping over to the 4 hour, the 4 hour then gave a nice signal here where we are in this bearish momentum right here. And then we gave a higher low, and then we gave a bullish engulfing bar right here, which is my entry point. Stop loss was below this low. Stop loss was also below this low. 40% of my trade here, 60% of my trade here, just in case price came down, tapped me out, and then continued. That would have been my overall move right there. We are currently in this nice uptrend right now. That price is just holding that 4 hour EMA, and we pushed right to our previous resistance slash support zone. So this was resistance, resistance, resistance. So I have this here just in case there's a reversal off of the daily. I have this one 50% to 78%. There could be a rejection over here that we could get a overall lower high from this high. And then we could get a nice correction. And then we could finally break through continuation overall. But right now, this was my overall direction is a bullish signal. I got in off of this bullish engulfing bar, but I recently just got out this morning about an hour ago. So somewhere around this move. I think it was on this bar right here. So that's pretty much what I see on UJ as of right now. Very nice move, currently going up. I don't really have an entry point at this very moment. I am currently waiting to see if it will reject, give us a nice 4-hour signal bar or a 4-hour pullback, and then a continuation. So once we find our footing up here, I can put a Fibonacci zone such as this, and then look for that 50% pullback zone and then a continuation. So that is what I have on UJ as of right now. Nothing too crazy. And then US 30, US 30 has just been not my best friend right now. It did give us a signal, or it pulled back to my 50%, 61% zone. I just didn't feel confident on this exact trade, so I never entered. You can see here that on the 1 hour we did pull back and give this tweezer bottom right here. So with this tweezer bottom, if I would have entered on a long position, and I'm just showing you as an example, and stop loss right below the low and take profit at the negative 27. The only issue with taking profit at the negative 27, it's above all of the previous higher highs. So I would have felt more confident taking my profits right here at the previous high of this wick and right before it. We're currently heading there, but look at the momentum. Big spike up, and then the momentum just kind of slowly trickling higher, right? So for this, we might just tap this 0.0 and then just drop again, right? So we need to be mindful, and I was just not feeling confident upon this specific trade. So for that specific reason, I did not enter. Plus, we did not get a minimum of a 3R on this specific trade. So again, for that specific reason, I was not interested in taking this trade. So let's see, was there anything else? So just to kind of talk about how US 30 is the way it is right now, we are overall in this bullish uptrend. We're currently had this consolidation zone. We broke through the consolidation, giving a overall Fibonacci zone of a 78, 61% pullback. Try to continue, but then immediately failed and just tons of wicks. So we can even continue this consolidation box from here to here. And we can just pretty much wait until this consolidation box has been broken. Once this consolidation box is broken, then we could be looking for potential buys or sells after that point. So that's pretty much what I got on US 30 right now. So I think that will wrap up. Sorry. It is 6:16 in the morning. So this is going to wrap us up for today regarding our pre-market analysis. I was going to go ahead and show y'all one more thing as well. Let's just kind of go back to kind of see where everything is. So silver, we're looking good. We're still kind of like hesitating right here, which is perfectly fine. We are currently looking at S&P 500 as well as NASDAQ. So we are, the goal for today is going to be, there is only one trade outside of the one that we just took. So the one that we just took is on GU. GU is currently in a little bit of drawdown right now. So that's perfectly fine. Let's see how this one goes. If we get a nice signal over the next hour, I will be entering again with a heavier size. You know, even if this hour was a doji, like a small doji, and then the next hour was a solid signal right near the opening, then at that point I would look at adding to the position upon that time frame too. Outside of that was just be the NQ. The NQ, I am waiting for a 1 hour, um, pretty much a 1 hour signal bar as of right now to give us a bearish signal. And then I would go ahead and enter this trade. Because if we're looking at the 4 hour EMA, it's pretty much, it's close, but it hasn't tapped. So I would expect it to break the high and then give us a nice wick either on the 1 hour, or we might just have to wait until the closure of this bar. The only thing is the closure of this bar will be happening in about 2 hours, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, the market opens on NASDAQ at 8:30. So what could happen is this, and this is just what I would be actually expecting this. So I wouldn't even be looking at entering this probably until like 9 o'clock, and thinking about time frames. 9 o'clock verification. We do have 9 a.m. PMI for USD, as well as 7:15. So 7:15, we might get that pullback in this zone, and then the continuation around 8:30. So 3 things to be mindful for if you are looking for NASDAQ. A, 7:15, we might get the pullback zone from this. 2, we are going to be waiting for a confirmation, of course, which is going to be aligning with overall direction, right? So we need the pullback, and then we need the confirmation of that candlestick. And then 3, be mindful that it could get you stopped out very quickly if PMI reacts crazy on NASDAQ. I don't know. Sorry, I keep on pulling up the wrong stuff. I personally don't know how PMI reacts upon the NASDAQ. So get into this trade with like a grain of salt if you are interested. But always remember, this is just kind of me coming in here and letting y'all know kind of my thoughts, my thesis. But at no point should you take a trade only based upon your own trading plan. So just keep that in mind if you are looking at pretty much coming into the market and analyzing it. This is how I analyze the markets, and this is what I'm currently seeing. So let me show you one last thing before I go. This is going to be the final step, and then I am out of here. So this is currently where I have been on this exact market. So we can see that we have some greens, we have some reds, and this is my trading plan, or my trade, my other, what is it called? Prop firm, my other prop firm that I currently have. So you can see some greens, some reds, and this is from whenever I opened up, and this is my live account. You can see all my wins, all my losses. I had a losing streak last week, and then coming into this week, I had a solid, great trading week overall with a ton of winners that I just closed out this morning, looking for a withdrawal potential. So you can see a lot of green right there, and now we're at the very top. In total, if you look at the very, very top in total, let's see if I can get that. There we go. All right, so we're floating drawdown right now with one position, which is that GU, and we're currently sitting at $254,700 in total net profit. As of right now, I closed all of my trades this morning, and you can see right there some of the trades that I got out of. NASDAQ 100, $1,600. You can kind of see UCAD. You can kind of see gold, silver, UJ. All right, those are some of my trades that I was able to get out of. And then you can see gold right here at the bottom. Sorry, the other ones were silver. Gold right here, gold, UJ, and everything like that. So this is currently where I'm at right now. But yeah, let's just continue to push through and see if we can continue to make some more money. So, all right, guys, I'm going to leave it to y'all today. Hopefully this stream helped y'all out. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to drop a comment so therefore I can help y'all out. If y'all are interested in coming in and going ahead and taking care of making your own plan and having your own pre-market analysis, feel free to come into the dragonsnesttrades.com and go ahead and get a one chance opportunity of 91% off for only $7 or even $11. You can get full access to a trading coach, an AI trading coach, as well as you can create your entire trading plan with AI assistance to make you have a great plan that you can follow day in and day out. The only thing is have a plan and then stick to the plan. And that's all I'm doing here today. I have a plan to do a pre-market analysis every single day, Sunday through Thursday. And I spend about 30 minutes to an hour completing it. Once it's completed and I have my thoughts and thesis of the day, that's pretty much ends everything that I need to do for my pre-market. And then from there, I then place my trades. And I can't place a trade unless I sit here and I get my pre-market analysis done. Last week, I wasn't conducting my pre-market analysis thoroughly, and therefore I had a losing week. So does that match up together? Yeah, I wasn't following my plan and I was losing. And now I'm following my plan and I had consecutive winners back to back. So does that play a role? 100%. So y'all take it easy, guys. Hopefully this helps out. And if y'all have any questions or comments, please drop them below. And then I will see y'all tomorrow.